All right. I can do the intro for this one then.
Okay.
Hello, I'm so nervous.
This is the intro that you wanted, Click? Really? Hey, everyone.
Yes,
thank you for
yes,
joining the
this
Shipped podcast.
What?
The Click
You just
had
took
a
over. I was
chance.
going to do like
and
a
then,
gag. Oh, I can't swear.
Oh, no, edit that. Edit that. No swears.
Okay.
All right, Click, go ahead.
Good evening, crewmates. I hope you're all doing dandy fine delicious. I'm sitting here being all cozy with one topic at a time.
What happened to your gag? What happened to your gag, man?
Oh, the gag was like it was a bad joke and it dropped, and I'm probably going to leave a bunch of that in.
Awesome. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
So we're actually...
One joke is kind of making fun of the fact that your joke kind of just, it tried to dive graciously into the water and just landed on the stomach and just passed out.
So today is January 14th, 2020, and that actually makes it 1 year in total since I uploaded the first video on one topic at a time. I started the channel on the 10th,
anniversary?
and then it is my 1 year anniversary today. How nice is that?
What a timing, Jesus! Congrats,
right?
Man.
Yeah. So I thought today's video could talk about how we started on YouTube and whatnot. What do you think about that, Click?
That's a great idea. I'm eating a bit of a biscuit right now, so it's some pleasant ASMR for the people at home.
Fine, I'll contribute.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh, look at this. Yeah, we can add ASMR in the tags now. This video is gonna go viral. All right.
I was trying to swallow, and that was really hard.
Oh, you're trying to swallow, and it was too hard.
Hurts.
Okay, I get it. So
yeah.
Anyway, so how to get started on YouTube? This is a question that I at least get asked a lot, both in like DMs and comments. It's everything from how to get your videos to look good, how to get your audio to sound good, and also just how to make it on YouTube. What is popular? What will bring in views? How do you make this into a job even, or how do you even just get started as a hobby? And I guess you get a lot of that stuff too.
Nope. Because I don't tell anyone what I do.
No, I mean like people at YouTube, like people in the comments or DMs on Discord.
No, I'll be honest. I've only had, I think, 3 people ask me how they could get started, but no one has asked me how I got started. Which is totally fine. It's fair. Like, the channel's still really fresh and new.
Most people want tips on how to get started themselves.
Yes, exactly.
Not a lot of people ask how you get started. But I think that if we talk about how we got started and how we got to the point where we were today, like obviously now we're like world famous superstars. Like,
oh my goodness, I know, right? Everyone's heard of me.
Sad Milk.
Oh, it's Sad Milk. Oh, I'm so stoked for Sad Milk, dude. That's gonna be
the
awesome.
episode is coming this Friday. It's gonna be so
fun. Which one is it? Do you remember which? Well, we can't talk about that.
The crappy,
so everyone check it out on Friday.
It's on Premiere. It's on Premiere, so people can actually see the title.
But
it's
they can.
Those, like shitty inspirational quotes.
Edit that. You can't swear, man. You gotta stop swearing.
Heck darn mediocre.
We're gonna lose our channels.
You use the S word. You'll channel deletion.
Well, in 1 year of uploading videos, I've gone from 0 subscribers to 113,612, which is really cool. And
that is really good.
You've done better because you were
subs?
uploading Reddit videos, I think, like after I started. Was it May that you started uploading Reddit videos?
Then I started uploading regularly. Yeah, I think I uploaded my first Reddit video about a year ago.
Oh, okay.
But then I did it like an experiment. Basically, I saw like Sorrow TV and those guys did their thing, and I'm like, hey, I kind of like to do voices. Reddit is fun. I could do this. And like my first Reddit videos were so bad. Like the editing is off, just the timing is off, the voices are super cringy. It's just, oh my God, it's so bad. And it even got, claimed the monetization because I was stupid enough to use like a copyrighted track for it.
Your voices were so bad, someone claimed the voices.
That would have been even worse. That's my voice. Claim it.
Yeah, no, you have to be super careful with music. I've used free tracks before. So this is leading into getting started and whatnot. Oh, it sounds like Human One's awake. So leading into, so that's her brief cameo. leading into how to get started at YouTube. Use only free tracks for music, but one of the better ways to ensure no one's going to claim them is to use the ones that are already on YouTube that say no attribution.
Yes.
No attribution required.
Exactly.
God,
because if they...
because I used some from another site. Sorry. I used one... I used some from another site where someone else had then sampled the free track and put it onto a track that they were then monetizing elsewhere in YouTube. So while technically my track was free, it had a portion of their track which they decided to monetize. So it was a big quagmire when I was starting. I think I was 3 videos in and I was getting copyright claimed left and right.
Oh,
it was total butts, but I made it work.
Stuff like that can happen.
I mixed my own music and then and then they left me alone.
Oh, nice. So how to get started on YouTube? Yeah, we've been going for about a year with the Reddit stuff.
Yep.
I actually had a bit of a cheating start because I used to do video games way back in the day. So I had like a solid 40K subs. I already had my partnerships and I was enabled for monetization, that stuff.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so I got started. I mean, obviously my fan base was pretty inactive at that point. So I think my first Reddit videos only pulled like maybe 1,000 views, maybe 2,000 views, something like that.
That's pretty good. I don't even
really
think my
good
first
for getting
video has
started
2,000 views.
Oh, look at you. Look at Mr. Popular.
No, my first video, it has like 1,100 views, I think. And then a couple of videos after that only have a couple hundred views. So, yeah.
Well,
not
if you
super
take that
popular.
combined, that's like a solid $15 or something.
They don't make any money.
Ah, shite.
Yeah, it sucks. So you had 40,000 people already like primed and ready for your material, potentially. I mean, obviously, someone could subscribe many months before, then sort of forget who you are, and then not receive the notifications. Because YouTube did that change where they activated the bell button. So anyone who was already subscribed would automatically, by default, not receive any notifications from you. So even though you had a large audience around you, potentially, they might not even have seen anything you uploaded.
Yeah, I think the update with the bell pretty much, more or less, pretty much canceled out all my old followers, pretty much. Not everyone, of course. Some people still tuned in, like the closer circle, but I would say 90% were inactive at that point, or at least didn't get the notifications. But I have gotten a lot of comments of people that have refound me afterwards, like when my channel started growing again.
Yeah.
I showed up in their recommended feeds. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna turn on bells for this guy again. So
I watched your
a lot of people
comments
came
a while
back.
ago, and people were saying, I used to watch this guy years ago.
Oh yeah. And I kind of like that because even though my channel, it's not the biggest channel out there, it's nothing spectacular, but it has a lot of history, and I like that. It got started like 10 years ago, I think, even more than 10 years ago. I think I uploaded my first video. It was like 2009. And my very first videos are not even up anymore because I had I think back in the day I got like a deal from some half crappy company, like, hey, we'll pay you $100 if you put this music track instead of the original soundtrack of the video. And of course I said yes because there were no like partnerships or anything like that back then. But if I remember correctly, there were some issues with like people claiming the videos afterwards for those songs. It's like, okay, no, I'm just gonna remove this stuff. It's
that sucks.
Yeah, but it was a quick buck. It was the first money I ever made from YouTube. It was like $50 or $100, something like that.
Well, it's something at least. So, it took me a long time before I made $50. That was definitely a moment when I made the first $100. Put it right back into into saving up for a new computer.
Oh, nice.
And then only a couple months ago, I actually got a new computer, so that was good.
Oh, perfect. Not perfect. Yeah, it's
so
what did you? Of stuff gets.
What did you have around you when you started doing the Reddit videos? Like, you didn't have a lot of social media set up. You didn't have. When did you even start the Discord?
I started Discord kind of late. It was like this summer or something. I actually had a Discord. The channel itself has existed for like a year, but it was like a Patreon-only Discord first. But after a while, I realized that kind of Discord is never going to fly, at least not for the very small Patreon support that I have. So then I made it public and made like exclusive chat rooms for the Patreons instead.
Okay.
So the Discord, I think it was made like...
early.
Yeah. So I had a Patreon set up pretty early because people wanted me to. A couple of people asked me like, "Hey, I want to support your channel. Do you have a Patreon?" And they wanted me to set one up. And I really appreciate people supporting on Patreon, even though I don't think I would want to make my majority of like cash flow from YouTube from there. I kind of want to feel like this job is not dependent on people donating, but it's definitely very nice, and I appreciate it a lot. It makes me feel like people appreciate the content that they're willing to donate for it, and that means a lot. So it's a very nice bonus. But the Discord is not that old. I think it was made public like this summer, and now I think it's like more than 4,000 members on the Discord now. It grew so fast. It's ridiculous.
4,000. Wow.
So many people. And back when I started, I had like no social medias. I mean, I only got a Twitter like a few weeks back.
Yeah, and why did you set it up? Let's go. Let's roll the track. Let's.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think it was
good timing too.
Because I didn't want to set it up because it was Twitter is just drama. It's shit posting. That's all it is. And then I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think I was sitting in a voice call with, was it you, Oz Media, and a couple of other guys, and everybody tried to convince me to get a Twitter, and we eventually came up with a joke, like because the tag "the click" was taken. So then I said, "Not the click," and you're gonna add a mustache to your profile, and that became the whole joke. Like my name was Not the Click, and I just have this super low effort disguise. And it's like, this is not the click, obviously not the click. And I would go around and comment on like all you guys' Twitters, like, "Hey, have you heard about the click? He smells weird.
Oh, God.
I'm not the click, by the way." It's like, that was the whole joke.
I remember your first few tweets. That was funny, but I think it was really good timing for you to set that up, especially with what happened. So I guess it's been about a month that you've had it then, because you had it up for like maybe a week or two before everything went down.
Yeah, something like that. Like a week or two before the channel went down. Yes, it's probably like 5 weeks old now, 5 or 6 weeks old.
And this is the point of the video where the air in the background turns on and I can do nothing about it. Oh, I just called our podcast a video.
Well, it's a boomer.
Well, it's kind of a video if they watch it on YouTube.
Why did you start a YouTube channel? Because you did it like 10 years ago. So what was the motivating factor?
Actually, my very first videos, 2009, my very first videos, I was a teenager. I was like 18 or something like that at the time. And I played a lot of Call of Duty. That doesn't make sense. That math doesn't make sense. Minus 10 from your current age would not be 18. Yeah, but that's because you're a boomer.
What? I'm able to do math because I'm a boomer?
Shots.
God, you kids and your fancy calculators in your pockets that you make phone calls with.
Too cool for school.
I remember when phones were attached to the wall.
I remember when phones were pigeons.
We had a rotary phone when I was growing up, actually. We didn't get a phone on the wall
like
until...
when you spin around?
Yeah. I think my parents just had it for like nostalgia purposes. I'm not sure. Kooky little corner with their phone.
We had one of those phones at home as well, old one. But yeah, anyway, so what got me started back in those days is actually, I was playing a lot of Call of Duty World at War, Zombies.
Oh yeah!
I
I forgot about that.
Yes. Oh, so good, such a good game. And YouTube was still in the very early stages back then. But for some reason, I had found my way on there, and I saw that people were posting videos about these video games. And in Zombies, I had found a couple of glitches. Like you could, if you, for example, I still remember it to this day, if you like sprint jumped and crouched into a very specific corner on the map, the zombie AI would glitch out and think you were somewhere else. So they would like stand around a few meters away from you, but they wouldn't actually attack you. So that essentially made you invincible. I think that was like the first video I made, something like that. And then I made
How many rounds did you get through? Did you beat the zombie horde? I thought it was unlimited rounds.
It is unlimited. I remember I made a video. I think that one is actually still up because I made it a bit later. So it was Zombies. I think it was the second map, Verrückt, the one in the insane asylum. If you remember that one, when they just added the perk bottles. And I remember I got to like level 200 something, because that was like when I officially wanted to move on to other games. And I said, okay, I'm
Right.
going to beat some kind of record on the map that people think is the hardest. And I found this really small room that you could like run around in a circle in. And I grabbed a flamethrower and I just kept like just pulling around the zombies, just putting them on fire, waiting for them to die. Okay, next round. Because the flamethrower basically had infinite ammo and it wasn't affected by the HP scaling on the levels.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I did basically. So back in those days, I was in that small community that existed. I think I had like maybe 500 subs or something. I was known as like the Swedish guy who played on PC, because that was kind of unusual as well back then. Everybody was on console.
Everyone console, yeah,
And
Xbox.
I had like, yep, console peasants. So,
Oh no! I have both, and I still love my console because it's so easy. It boots up right away. It has the game ready to go. My
That is
PC,
true.
it's like,
No, you have to restart Steam. No, you have to restart the game. Oh, you can't actually connect with anyone.
I hate it.
yeah, consoles
Oh, you
are
want to
very
run
easy use,
Discord
but-
and a game? Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna just remove the audio for one of them.
exactly.
So that is what I got started with in the very beginning. And then I moved on to, after I did that, I did some, commentary on Call of Duty gameplay, that kind of stuff, like everybody did back then. But, I mean, nothing really happened. I had a few hundred viewers, but not much. And then I got into Let's Plays. Like Amnesia came out, the horror games hype.
Oh, yeah.
And I started doing
PewDiePie.
face cam Let's Plays. Yes, it was the same era as PewDiePie. I think we uploaded our first Amnesia videos like on the same week or something like that.
Were you speaking in English or were you speaking in Swedish?
So yeah, I was doing everything in English.
Oh, okay.
I've always been doing everything in English. It's a bigger audience, and I think Swedish is awkward to do a show in, to be honest.
Punched my mic. Yeah, dude. I think PewDiePie started off in English too, and his accent is so different back then. Really
Yes,
heavy.
it was
I'd be
so
curious to go back
obvious.
and watch your first video.
Welcome to PewDiePie. Today we're gonna play Amnesia. Oh my god, it's so scary, guys.
Oh, and your channel had a different name back then too. So how did you find the rebranding experience?
Yeah, so the rebranding was a bit scary, but at that point my channel was pretty inactive, so it wasn't a big, it wasn't like I was twisting content. So
Right. Not
the
like
Let's Play
core.
scene was, yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
the Let's Play scene was when I got my partnerships, when I got the majority of those 40,000 followers I had. And then I started getting more into music because I was getting tired of making gaming videos, but I didn't really figure out what I wanted to do on YouTube. And I also had a lot to do with university and stuff.
Right.
So then I just started posting music projects a little now and then, but the channel was pretty inactive, and I posted like a music project maybe once every second month or something like that. So this channel kind of stagnated, and I had a few core followers that sticked around. And then I rebranded to The Click. I think it was a couple of years back, and I started making discussion type videos where I would talk about either social topics or like analyzing things I found fascinating. But it like started moving into political direction very fast. And I didn't
Interesting.
like that on YouTube. Yeah, and I didn't like that on YouTube because
Oh.
you get pulled into an extreme direction very fast. Like,
Yeah.
if you watch one video that's pro something, your entire feed gets clogged with that, and vice versa. So I felt that I was becoming more and more biased, so I just took a step back from that and said, you know what, this is not my scene, and I don't like the conflict that comes with it. I want to entertain. So then I started getting into Reddit instead, because I had watched Sorrow TV mainly. And like, hey, he does funny voices. That's kind of what I used to do when I did Let's Plays. And he does his voiceover
As a
and
brief
stuff.
momentary break from your story, say hi, human one.
Hi.
Oh my god, hello. How are you doing?
All right, go back to bed.
Okay, bye. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, I kind of beckoned her
Okay.
over while you were talking there. Yeah, Sorrow TV was a big inspiration for me too.
Yes.
I know there's like everyone has their interpersonal differences, but I've always found the conversations between him and I to be really pleasant. He seems like a nice guy. But I mean, everyone has their quirks, right? And everyone has their triggers. So I'm sure people can have their on and off days and whatnot. But he's always been super chill. And his Bone Apple Tea videos, that's what did it for me. That's when I swiftly wanted to change from what I was doing, which was just ranting about a topic that I felt very passionate about, which was grammar related.
What?
I'm constantly so mad about people's grammar because, like in English, we don't have something to protect the language like we do in, like in France. There's the Académie de France, and they have this like specific house that keeps safe. Oh, the air just turned off. I can get out of my foam igloo.
Oh, nice. Get all out of there, my dude.
Okay, I'm out of my phone.
Did you just break out of it all dramatically, like it exploded in all directions? You're like flexing and standing with two arms up, like rah.
I mostly just pushed the foam backwards, and it fell over gently.
Okay, it was not the same kind of dramatic scene that I pictured in my head. All right, go on.
We can keep that scene. That's fine. I'm excited for us to do group D&D. As a side note, I'm really excited.
Oh, the D&D?
Yeah, Sad Milk D&D.
Oh, the dungeons.
That's gonna be
that's
fun.
So good.
But yeah,
is
the
wonderful.
first video that I uploaded on the 14th of January, 2019, was Lego versus Legos, Why You're Wrong. And it was how to pronounce the plural form of Lego. Now, since you're a man of culture, if you had...
yeah, of course.
if you had many Lego bricks in front of you, what would you call them? Human One, what are you doing? You just hanging out back
Multiple
there?
Lego.
Okay, Human One just
I
showed
don't
up.
think.
Say hi,
I
Human One.
Kind of.
Hello.
2 and 1. There we
Hello.
go. Click says hi.
Hi.
All right. So if you had many Lego bricks in front of you.
One topic, I just talked to a whammon. Oh my god. Whew. All right. My pulse is setting. Okay, what you were saying?
You have many Lego bricks in front of you. What do you call them as a collective?
Lego.
Thank the Lord. Yes, either you are a true fan or you're just a fan of logic and reason. Thank you. Yes, it is Lego. Just like you say sheep, just like you say deer. Just like you say moose. Yeah, there's a fun one. Gonna throw a
Or
Canadian
fish.
one in there.
Many fish.
Fish? Oh, I like fish.
Fish. Fishes.
Yeah, but
Hello, have you seen how many fishes?
yeah, it's Lego bricks. So Lego and Lego, that's the singular and then the plural form. And then I made a whole video where I ranted for like 12 minutes about how that's the case. I went through like the history of Lego. So I first started out with the question and then worked my way back from the origins of Lego right up till present day, where the Lego company actually had to come out, I think in like 2013, with an official statement saying what the plural form of Lego is called, just to like end the debate there. And still people choose to be wrong. And we don't have any protections for the English language. So so I mentioned France as an example, but even Japan has an institution that houses the correct form and correct usage of their languages. And while there's slang that exists everywhere, of course, because it will be easier to shorten things or to change things around, that doesn't change the core value or the core meaning of their words. Whereas in English, we can, as long as a group large enough just says a word enough times, that then becomes a word. I know you and I have talked about this before, like the word selfie.
Yeah,
I don't know why
Selfie,
self-portrait fell out of fashion,
Oh.
but I vastly prefer self-portrait over selfie. And I will.
Selfie sounds the word sounds trashy.
It does. It does. Much like the word movie.
What?
But movie's a little bit more
Instead of
accepted.
film.
But film, and go see a film. But I do like movies. It's one of the slangs that I'll
One
accept.
topic. Should we go watch the motion pictures?
Exactly. There it is. And that's exactly what it comes from. It's got this amazing root, the motion pictures. It's so classical.
Yes.
It feels so good on the brain.
It's
it kind of
almost like I want the
dances
thumbnail
across
for
it.
this
I love
episode
it.
to be us in like top hats. Super aristocratic.
Oh, if only I had a
like,
chance
"Yes,
to.
the motion pictures.
Well, you're editing this. Just put top hats on us in the background. I can see them floating in now. Excellent. Yeah, so that's where I got my start in YouTube. I just wanted to make ranty videos where I talked about stuff, and then I watched the Sorrow TV video where he goes through Bone Apple Tea, and I was like, oh, my mixture of comedy and grammar all in one video. Yes. So I did, I think, like 3 of those. Let's see. I had my channel
Bon
open a
Appetit.
second ago. Okay, so it was Lego versus Legos, Bone Apple Tea, Bone Apple Tea, Bone Apple Tea, and then
Oh,
a series
God.
of Vax Happen videos. I did 3 Vax Happen back to back, all of which are demonetized because that's fine. YouTube, whatever. But I did check. The Lego versus Legos did make me 27 cents in the last 30 days. So that's quite nice.
Oh God, you got that rich, fam. You're just doing this for the money. Look at you.
Oh,
You
I
should be
know.
ashamed.
Oh, let's see.
can buy,
Lifetime,
like-
it's made $4 over its lifetime.
Oh, you can like buy one solid ice cream for that.
Oh, I could. And
But
then
after taxes, maybe not.
oh, that's true. No, I wouldn't even be able to afford a single scoop here. Ice cream's
Yay.
expensive.
Look at the scoop ice
so
cream,
that's
girls.
fun.
YouTube money.
Oh, the CPM on that must be terrible then, because it's 1,400 views, $4. That's not good.
That sounds really bad.
Yeah. Oh well, that's typical of most of my videos. To be honest, I don't make very much money. Which is why when you said earlier, when you're thankful for your patrons for what they're able to contribute, and while you don't want to make it like the main thing is asking people for money to pay you to make videos, I really love that people want to reach out and support a channel like mine, where I try to do positive stuff. I'm not out there doing hit pieces on people where I'm like, let's cancel this YouTuber, they're the worst.
No, I don't like that kind of thing. It's like the torches and pitchfork version of the internet, but it's also monetized. So you have like one additional Kindle lighting the flame, and it's like,
I think that the patrons want to support the channel because I'll take better awareness of a subject over monetization any day. Like today's video, it's called Monday, even though it's Tuesday that we're recording this, and I actually uploaded it on Sunday, but it's taken them more than 2 days to review it, and I have seen the numbers go up. They've watched the video 4 times, and they didn't monetize it, but they didn't list it as not monetized, so anyways,
well, they keep passing it around. It's like the first reviewer is like, oh, this is like in a gray zone. Can you look at it, fam? And then the next person is like away for a day, and it's it takes so long.
So it's still got the yellow icon. I published it this morning. It took so long to edit this one. It's almost a 20-minute video where I review r/non-binary and also r/trans. Both are great subreddits. They have their own uniqueness to them. I customized a really cool thumbnail, put in a bunch of tags, really was careful about how I wrote things and put them forward, and I thought it was really great, but still that yellow symbol. So when I don't make any money there, at least I can rely on my patrons to help support the channel. So at least there's that.
Yes. I usually use the Patreon thing. I use it for like bonus community things I might not have done otherwise. For example, one of my Patreon goals was that I was going to open a Minecraft server for the Discord.
Yeah, I saw
we actually
that.
have it nowadays. Yeah. So like half of the server cost is basically paid for by Patreon. So half of it I pay out of my own pocket, and half of it I pay with like Patreon support. So I use the Patreon thing to like pay back to the community partially. It's like I open community things. I do giveaways on the Discord, Minecraft server, that kind of stuff. And I think one of my goals now on Patreon is that I want to hire an editor. But, an editor is kind of risky because if you pay an editor like $50, $60 to edit a video for you, and then it turns out to be demonetized, it's kind of a risky biz.
Demonetized or not in your style, or there's a lot of factors at play there. Like every editor is going to cut it differently than you would, and you'll look at it and think, oh, I really wanted a joke to be there. I phrased it in a way, but they cut it out, and I don't know, will it work? So,
yeah, exactly.
A lot of risks.
Yes, I had
involved.
actually a couple of people applied to me as editors. I don't have an editor right now. But it just didn't feel right. A couple of people were like, they were decent at editing, but they didn't have the timing. Their editing style didn't really match the personality of the video, which doesn't make them bad at what they do. It's just not the right place, and it left it with a weird feeling.
Yeah. I also don't have an editor right now. And I think that's one of the important things as well, is realizing how much time you can put into different projects. Like for me and you, it's been quite the balance that we've tried to strike, where we try to do almost daily work on the channel, whether that be editing and uploading or just editing, where we go through different subreddits or new subreddits. We're perusing things all the time just to find good images and good jokes and stuff to include, or things that are important to discuss and talk about. And all of that is work that we've taken on that we haven't separated amongst a team or anything. One of the important things that I've learned over the past year is, maybe the first year is not the right time to hire anyone unless your channel explodes.
Yeah. And it's also like I one reason I have a hard time letting go of that is that it's such a big part of the creative process. Like I would say 50% of the editing is just that's some stuff anyone can do, because half my editing is just putting the right picture over the right part of the voice track, just syncing it up, cutting out the empty parts in between, that kind of stuff, just pulling it together. And then half of it is like the fine tuning, like doing the zooms, doing the cuts, doing the jumps, if the avatar comes into frame, adding different soundtracks, that kind of stuff. So half of the editing anyone could do, but the other half is where all the comedic timing comes in, where the flow of the video comes. And that is so hard to let go of. Yes. And that is so hard to let go of, because you think about things when you're recording the video. It's like, oh yeah, I said this thing, and then I shouted this random stuff away from the microphone. What if my avatar comes up in the corner when I'm shouting that, and it shakes a bit? Oh yeah, that would look really funny. But how do you explain that to an editor? Like, it's so hard.
Yeah,
then,
very likely they make different decisions there.
Yes, definitely. And maybe for the better or maybe for the worse. But for Sad Milk now, for example, we have editors that work. So let's see. And Wonderstruck is one of our editors,
One of us,
actually.
yeah,
So
one of them being one of our own, Wonderstruck.
Yes,
he
he's
did an
both artist
amazing
and
job.
editor. He's so good at editing. I would every time I watch one of his videos and I come back to my own channel, I'm like, wow, my editing is garbage.
Exactly. Why are people even checking out my channel? Why aren't they all watching his?
Yeah. I wish his channel starts growing again. By the way, quick shout out to Wonderstruck. We can link the link down below.
Subscribe to that guy. We're including his link,
Definitely.
and also the link to the Sad Milk episode.
Oh yeah.
If we don't put this out before, because I think we have another podcast session actually coming out before the Sad Milk episode comes out.
Yes.
There will be more Sad Milk episodes, so we'll just link them below.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so go check that out. It's epic. It's the two of us. It's like Illuminati, Oz Media, Salty Reddits, Damien, Wonderstruck Guy, Flinders. That's everyone, right? Did I miss anyone?
Yeah, and you and me. That's it.
Oh yeah, of course. I forgot the two most
Oh
important
yeah,
people.
us.
We are the bringers of audience, obviously. Wow.
Did you have a moment when you were making videos that you're like, you know what, maybe this isn't the right thing, maybe I need to quit?
Yeah, several. I mean, one of the moments was obviously when my channel was deleted, but at that time...
that was
at
recent.
that time I was already... Yes, but at that time I was already so invested, and I think if that had happened and I did not have the connections I do, like for example, if I had not been part of our Reddit team, that Discord, if I not had known you, and we were not planning the podcast or Sad Milk, I probably would have quit, yeah. Because it would have been so hard to start a new channel up. Would have been from square zero, no one to promote my channel, no partnerships, no money, no anything. That would have been really hard. But I'm not sure if I was close to quitting, but I was very demotivated during the summer. Because I was going on a trip for 2 weeks, and I had prepared, I think, 5 videos. I worked 16-hour days the weekend I went away, or before I went away, just so I can schedule videos for the time I was away. And all of them except one got demonetized.
Yeah.
Just like that. And they weren't inappropriate videos. I had censored some of it. It's like, they were pretty harmless. And 4 of them got demonetized, and the 5th one that was monetized absolutely tanked in views. He got like 5K views or something like that. So I was just checking in on that during the vacation. I'm like sitting staring at it like, come on. I worked so hard for this. It just,
Yeah, that is such a challenge. Yeah, you build such a passion project, and then YouTube goes,
No, I just feel like it. You
or
can't
they
show this
decide
to a
not
wider
recommend-
audience.
Exactly. It's like either they decide to demonetize it so you don't make a dime, or they decide to not push the video, which I think is even worse. Because if one specific video doesn't make money, I'm like, doesn't really matter that much in the grander scheme of things. But it's actually more hurtful to me, at least, when a video doesn't get pushed. It's like, I can sit and watch a video. I had, for example, a Garfield video I uploaded recently, and it had like a click-through ratio of like 25%, which is super high.
Yeah.
It had like an audience retention that was through the roof. And it's like, YouTube doesn't push it, doesn't show it to anyone. It's like, it's even monetized. What's wrong with it? Come on, YouTube. Jesus.
Don't you want to make money, YouTube?
Yeah, obviously it's doing good, and it's advertiser-friendly. What's the problem?
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes when I make the gay videos. I try to make a couple a week. The Tuesday Thursday series, even if they don't fall on Tuesday and Thursday, I really like them. For example, the Monday coming out on a Tuesday, I try to get them monetized because I know if they are monetized, YouTube is more likely to push them out to people. But I recognize I'm not going to make a lot of money on them because gay is one of those words that is auto flagged for demonetization instantly.
Yeah.
So I get it, but it no less annoys me when.
Of course.
So the cynic in me wants to approach this as YouTube would like to discourage people from making specific content because not all advertisers want it. And some of that content being the gay content. And if they just not monetize enough of it, then people will be discouraged enough to stop making it. That's the cynic in me. The optimist in me is saying, hey, you can still make $2 instead of $100, and it's not deleted off your channel, and it doesn't put your channel at risk.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Half full, half empty. But yeah, and also they can go through the manual review as well, hopefully.
Sometimes,
But
yeah.
sometimes the manual review is so biased. I had a video that I uploaded today, for example. Or no, sorry, I uploaded it yesterday, an Insane Parents. It's a very harmless video. There are no swears in it. There's no language, no pictures, nothing that would be considered not monetizable. And I also uploaded a Garfield video, which had some sexual jokes in it. It had some, not swears, but some more vulgar statements. The
Which is
Garfield one
typical
got
of you.
monetized. Sorry?
Yeah. Oh, so it's just typical of you.
Oh.
Oh, the air's back on. All right, going back in my foam. Hang on. Climbing back in my foam igloo.
So
Here we go.
So that
All right, put the
Garfield
foam
video
down.
got monetized, but the Insane Parents did not. So what I usually do in that case is that I have them on schedule, and then I take it down. I go back in my video editing software. I take a look like, okay, does any of these images contain any swears? Is it hinting towards something that could be considered demonetizable? Is there anything in here that I can remove? And I came to the conclusion that this video doesn't contain anything like that is in violation of monetization guidelines. It's so weird. So I just re-uploaded it, sent it in for second review, and let's see if it goes green.
Yeah. Yeah, fingers crossed. You and I approach our upload schedules very differently. Like, my computer just went to sleep. All right, we approach our upload schedules very differently in that I aim for the daily uploads. Part of that is to help the channel grow because the more content you have, the more people it'll bring across. The other side of that for me is just I like seeing everyone's positive reactions. If I can make someone smile like once a day, every day, I think that's absolutely amazing. So I really want to push for that. Whereas
that is
you've
so
gone the
wholesome.
route of like having just a couple extra days to really fine tune and tweak things and make them such a different style. So while I stress over the daily uploads, you stress over having like the most pristine content that you can. So I mean, there's different approaches we can each have to our own channels and uploads. And coming back to what I was mentioning earlier about the demotivating factors of potentially wanting to quit uploading videos and whatnot. I've had those moments too. One of the more important things is just to, if it's something you're passionate about, don't quit. Don't put yourself to a schedule that you don't think you can meet. Like the daily uploads, it's insane.
Just take a
No
break.
one should do that.
No,
Yeah,
even if
and
you're having
absolutely
bad
take
week,
a break.
just
Take
take a
weekends
break.
off. Do something.
Yes, because that's the thing with YouTube. Like, I get sick of it from time to time. And what I do is that I take 1 or 2 days off. And then after a day or two, I feel like, oh man, I want to get behind the mic. Like, I get that surge back. And that's when you know, like, okay, energy restored. Let's go.
Yeah, so if anyone's starting out a brand new channel and they haven't quite found their stride yet and they're really pushing for something that they're feeling uncomfortable with, figure out what works for you. There's a lot of channels out there, like The Right Opinion, for example, who only uploads like once a month or once every few months, but has found his audience. And as long as you're making content that's true to you and something that you're passionate about, you'll find the people that are passionate about it.
Of course. Internet Historian is also a great example of that.
Yes.
He uploads like once every second month, third month, something like that. And he has a big following, and all his videos are like, all the videos he's made the past year have been like super hits. They all have, several million views each.
Yeah. I think as people move into the next decade where they realize, wow, the internet was just in its infancy in the decade previous to this one. And in the last decade, it really went through its like golden era, the booming era. We want to learn more about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's the right time for his stuff, definitely. But it will continue to be relevant going forwards, which is really amazing. It's smart of him to choose something that will continue to be relevant always.
Yeah, it's timeless. It's timeless. As long as the internet exists, that stuff will be relevant.
Especially someone's perspective of that time being so close to that time. Because 20 years in the future, no one's going to have the same perspective that they do today, especially in the internet where everything changes. 6 months is like 3 years in the real world. It's such a difference. Like Vine could become Musical.ly. Musical.ly could become TikTok. It's only been a couple years, but it's huge, massive differences between those eras.
It really is, yes. The internet moves so fast. It's so fast. And that's also... And you notice that, for example, when... Yeah, my channel was down for almost 3 weeks, which is not a long time. If you had some issues at a regular day job for 3 weeks, you would go back after 3 weeks and not even notice it. Like with YouTube, like my videos get a third of the views they got before time because I have no longer like built up my flow in the recommended tabs, that kind of stuff. So that just shows you how fast it moves. You're gone for like less than a month. Well, there you go. Now you gotta work your way back up again, fam. It's like,
and that's
wow.
It does depend on how regular your schedule was before. So if you deviate, YouTube does it does recommend you less often. But as soon as you get back into the flow of things, it usually picks back up. For you were on like the bleeding edge. You were the knife's edge at one point, and then now we just got to get you back to that point. I have some videos queued up that I think will do decently well. So I'm hoping for the best, but I'm also aware that it will be a couple of slow weeks. So
it's not like I'm expecting too much, I think, but it is a bit like, come on, because the whole situation was so unnecessary. It's like, Jesus Christ. But on the other hand, it did bring the whole Reddit community closer, and I love that.
And I think a lot of benefits came out of it. And while there's going to be a lot of short-term hurt, I think some good things came. Like this podcast. I don't know if you would have been as motivated to pick this up and get it going as quickly as we did if you were still exploding on your channel. I don't know if you would have been as active with Sad Milk if your channel was still exploding. Like you'd still be around, but would you have committed to as many days,
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think I was more committed to side projects because the main channel was on ice, of course. And I think that goes for anyone who was in a similar situation.
And it made you more free for our phone calls where we're constantly talking to each other.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Where Human One has to stay awake at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. listening to us ramble about stuff.
Oh, you're making it sound like it's suffering. She should be thankful, obviously.
It bothers me. It bothers me how much she likes you.
Oh, there you go. Well, my girlfriend loves you as well. She says like every time, like, keep working with him. Keep working. Do not let him go. It's like, okay, will do.
That's so funny that your girlfriend feels the same way about me that Human One feels about you. That's so interesting to me.
Yes. They I mean, behind the scenes, we hate each other. We just
oh my goodness, the worst. We're like
oh,
I can't think of a good comparison right now, but yeah.
Harry Potter and Voldemort, Oh, no, but that's so funny. So she tells me like, yeah, don't let him go, because he's the only thing making you slightly more wholesome, and you need that.
Go. Oh my god. I am the light in the dark cavern that is your life.
Yes. But I'm so looking forward to meeting the Reddit group people in real life. That's gonna be so amazing.
What, like VidCon? That's gonna be the big hangout, right? I think a lot of us are coming together for that.
I think that's the place where like everybody's gonna come. I'm hoping to see everyone before that, or at least the majority. Because we were talking about some hangout in the U.S. Obviously, it's the most difficult for me because time zones, long travel
across
times.
The world, yeah.
Yes, it's like I can't stay a weekend. It has to be a bigger thing.
The air's done. I'm getting out of my foam igloo. There we go. And I flex this time just for you because you mentioned that last time. Strike a pose.
Oh, I can just see those veins exploding.
Oh, thanks, Human One. I hear this quiet whispering behind me going, wow. So she appreciated the flexing pose, I guess.
I appreciate you did it.
There you go. Look at you. I'm making the relationship even better.
She says that she appreciates that I did it for you.
Aw, well, there you go. They're so supportive. It's
weird, and I don't like it.
They are like the main shippers.
I wish they had more of a problem with it, to be honest. But yeah, they are the original shippers, the original crewmates.
Yes. But
we haven't quite decided which ones
we have.
best yet. I think once we hit like 10,000 people, we'll set up that community post and we'll
Yes.
get everyone to
Shippers or
vote.
crewmates.
Yeah, or shipmates. We'll put a few options in there.
Oh, yeah, shipmates.
Or poop
sounds
deck.
good.
I don't know. We'll throw in a random one for people to be
Shitters.
playing. Oh, don't. Maybe not that one because swore, but maybe not that one because people will pick it just to be funny, and then we'll actually have to do it. And I don't like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like to put the Uwu gang in the first poll for what this podcast was going to be called, and it almost won. It was like second place.
Really bothered me. I thought, just a throwaway line, a ha-ha for our OG fans. And then everyone was like, yes, do this.
Do the Uwu gang. No, fam.
What do you think are your takeaway points, your recommendations for people who are getting started on YouTube? I realize we're pretty late to be adding in like the finer points and details, but I think
we can have another
takeaway
episode
message?
where we talk more specifically about tips for getting started. This is like more
Yep.
how we got started. But I would say it's a few different points. One, if you want to get started on YouTube, your videos need to be easy to watch. And what I mean by that is that the quality needs to be on point. You need to have the right aspect ratios, resolution, sound quality. People should not be bothered about the quality of the video. Like the production value should be sufficient.
Yeah, don't make watching a video work. Because if people need to
exactly.
work to understand or to receive your video, no one's going to stick around.
Exactly.
Especially not in the early
Other
days.
than that, yeah, definitely. Other than that, I think finding something that feels natural to you. Because if you're trying to push something that is not really you, it's very noticeable in the video. You will not keep doing it for long, and that will just go downhill. And another thing is that be consistent. Consistently comes a long way. And I've seen that a lot of people who have asked me how to get started on YouTube have sent me their channel links. And when I look at it, there's no consistency. It's like, here's a 5-second video where they film their cat eating food. And here's a 2-minute video of them filming their TV screen while they're playing a video game. And here's a 5-second video of them doing like a selfie cam and just saying something completely, I can't even understand what they're saying. And, just stuff like that. It's like, you can upload stuff like that because you think it's fun. I don't have anything against it, but don't expect a following. People will not follow that kind of stuff.
People fell out of the genre of the what are those? Yeah, see, it's been so long since I've produced one myself. The like online internet diaries. It's not. People are more interested in that when there's a person behind a product, rather than trying to put the person before the product. So if you look at your video as like a production, something you want to put forward, it's like a movie. You want to have it like being real flashy, and once the movie's flashy, people want to find out who's behind it. So at that point, it'd be the right time to put in a 5-second clip of your cat.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
At that point, is it YouTube that you're passionate about, or is it like the lives that people have around YouTube, where they, you see the people like the Paul brothers, where they have $1 bajillion and are incredibly nonsensical in the way that they live their lives. Is that what's appealing? Because there's other ways to achieve that are more realistic and more possible. Continuing a further education, trying to get a good career, working days and nights, like that can happen, but it doesn't have to be YouTube.
No, of course not. And also, you won't probably get, a big success on YouTube right off the bat. It is a grind. Like any job, it takes time to build it up. It takes time to gain experience. It takes time to get good at it. Like, take us, for example. We have both been working basically 2 jobs for the better part of a year. And I think my average week has been like at least 60 hours, probably more, probably towards 70 most times. So I've kept the day job to keep the rent paid. And then I've worked with YouTube almost every evening and every weekend. And I mean, some people do it easier. Some people do it even harder. But you have to get on the grind, definitely. And it's not only to bring consistency, but it's also because you get better. You need to spend X amount of hours before you actually get good at making videos. Like we said in the beginning of this video, our first videos were horrendous. They are not good.
No, I did not say that.
Yeah,
My first
okay.
video is amazing.
All right. Apart from one topic, because he's
Thank
an
you.
amazing human, godlike.
But the next few
but
videos
as
after
normal,
that, they're not as on point as they could have been.
Yeah, and if you go back to my first Reddit videos, for example, like I think my first Reddit video was an r/nice guy, you will see a very, very distinct difference. Like it's barely the same person. And
Yeah, I
that's the
sound
transformation you
incredibly
slowly
different in
go
my
through.
recordings. I don't sound like
Yes.
me. I was on stream
exactly.
the other night, and I was doing a review of my early videos with everyone, with all the thick waffles. Shout out to my thick waffle gang, and just to plug my Twitch. There we go. But we were reviewing some of the old videos, and I was like, "Wow, I remember all of these tactics. I remember what I was doing. I remember how I was recording these, and it looks like garbage comparatively.
yes.
But I was okay starting somewhere." And that's the main thing. Is I
Oh,
put
yeah.
my foot down. I'm like, this is something I've always wanted to do, and I've continued to push it off every single year. Enough. I want to start. Let's make this happen.
Oh yeah, and the same thing goes for any kind of creative work or work in general. Take music for example is one of my big passions, and I'm by far not the best musician out there. But people are always very positive when I show them my music work. What I don't usually show is that because I recorded or produced, this song, this cover, I wrote this, I probably have 100 or 150 half-finished produced songs.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it takes. And the same thing with YouTube videos. Like I have, in the past year, I probably made like 100 videos or 150 videos, And you have probably made even more because you even stuck to daily. So it takes
I have a lot of broken or
production to get
unfinished
good.
projects. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there you go. It takes a lot of work to get good. You need to grind, both to actually get an audience and get consistency in your content, but also actually to get better. And that's the only way. There is no way around it.
And if you get that feedback in your comments where someone says, "This sucks," what I did, I reached out to every single person who said my videos were terrible. And I said, "Hey, I really appreciate the feedback. I was thinking about this a little bit differently, but could you let me know the points that you thought were bad? And I'll try to make tweaks in the next video, and you can let me know if it gets better." And I think that's how I stayed a little bit more engaged with my audience at the beginning, is that I was reaching out to pretty much everyone that left a comment. I was like, "Hey, really appreciate you watching the video. Let me know what you didn't like, and I'll try to shift things around."
Yeah,
And I think that
good.
really
Be
helped
open to
me hone my
feedback is
skills,
good.
because I found out what worked for me, and it wasn't always what I was trying to aspire to.
Oh yeah.
Like I can't quite do Sorrow TV's silly voice, the like high pitched
I'm a
character
silly
voice that he does. I can't quite. I have my own voices, and it took me a while to find my own voice.
Yeah, same here. Like the first Reddit video I made, half the comments were like, "Oh, this is just Sorrow TV, but like off-brand." There were half the
Yeah, I got
comments.
that a lot.
And then
I
I
got that
realized,
a
like,
lot.
okay, yeah, I'm trying to do way too many voices that are like the same. And it took me like a dozen videos probably, but then I started to find my way. And in the first few videos, the meme was that I was an AI. A sexy AI, because I was talking like this all the time, and I also sounded kind of text-to-speech-ish. So the whole meme was like, "Oh, daddy, sexy voice AI." That was the first meme.
God, you played way too far into that meme.
Yeah.
You got to
Yes,
rein that in,
yes.
man.
And then nowadays it's just, the memes are all over the place. Now it's everything from uwu to like the seductive voice, and it's so weird.
First time I found your channel, I definitely had to peruse through a number of your more intimate sounding character voices to figure out who you were. But it was your reactions around those voices that really got me hooked. Because it was when you switched to
okay.
your normal voice, you're like, what did I just read? Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, he's a real human. Somewhere
There's
behind
actually
that
a person
veil.
here. He's not completely nuts. All right, cool. I maybe I can work with this.
Exactly. And then I really liked some of your videos. And then I got a lot of comments on my videos too saying, like, check out this guy, watch his videos. And like a few months before that, I'd seen a couple of yours and I was like, I really don't like it. Because I didn't spend enough time to find the person behind the characters. But then, after seeing the comments consistently, I was like, all right, I'll go and check them out again. And then I looked and I'm like, all right, this is a little bit more accessible. This is easier to watch. And I see a human instead of, maybe I showed up around the text-to-speech meme days.
I think so. Yeah, it was like it was very narrow appeal, I would say. The people that stuck around loved it because I think it grew on them, but looking back at those videos, I think it was not as a wide appeal, and the content was not as open, like you're saying. It was not as accessible. People didn't come to the channel like, oh yeah, I can see the person. It was like, okay, there's a voice that sounds, I mean, it's a decent voice, I guess, but there's not much more. It could be like, it's a text-to-speech with a little bit more emotion,
Yep.
and that's not enough to make a personality out of.
Speaking of which, a very brief sidetrack, but Wonderstruck does an amazing text-to-speech voice. It is...
Oh my god, it is so
cannot
good.
identify whether or not it's him or a text-to-speech bot.
I'm almost upset how good that is.
I really am. I've tried to emulate it a couple times, and I cannot.
Same
that
here.
boy is a professional.
No, I'm embarrassingly bad. It's like, I think I'm good at doing voices, but whenever I'm in a Sad Milk collaboration with Wonderstruck, it's like, okay, yeah, you know, me being like the voices guy, that's just blown
out
out
the
of
window.
the freaking water.
Yeah, so instead of being the cursed voices guy, you're just the cursed guy. And instead of
Yes,
being
I'm
the
just
wholesome voice
I'm-
guy,
I'm-
I just have wholesome. That's it.
Oh, yeah, you're Daddy Wholesome, I'm Daddy Cursed.
I don't get a lot of your guys' humor sometimes. Like with the naughty jokes and stuff, a lot of the times they go over my head. Even Human One is more cursed than I am at this point.
Yeah, that's maybe why she
She's
likes
smiling.
me. She thinks
Yeah, she knows it.
She's hoping I will make you a little bit more cursed, so you will be on the same level as she is.
I don't know if it'll ever happen,
I'll-
to be honest.
I'll-
I don't make enough room in my
I'll-
mind for it. Click, we've been
I'll
at this
spice
for
it up
a
really
long
good.
time. Do you have a timer going?
No, but it's been like pretty much
hour?
an hour. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, this
I
is
think
a
that's a
very
good time.
natural endpoint because I say it is. I need to go back to
Because we're
work.
getting into me spicing you with cursed. And like, okay, time to end, fam.
Good time to end. Wow, we covered a lot in this video, both like our experiences of getting started. I guess we could have gone deeper on that, but I think this leads into maybe us having a guest on in the future who can talk about their experiences of getting started and like using YouTube as kind of like a business. You know, someone who went full time who has that perspective.
Oh, yeah. Definitely talking about going YouTube full time in a future episode. That is a very good topic.
Yeah, I agree. I was just making faces at Human One. I didn't mean for there to be a bit of a silence, but
That was, I thought it was
I'm still
something
here.
like that.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
good stuff.
everyone who showed up to this. Subscribe. I cannot believe we keep waiting till the very end of these podcasts to say subscribe, but please subscribe. We have a lot
So
more
bad at
videos coming
promoting
up.
ourselves. Oh, God.
And keep making your suggestions in the comments. We've seen a lot of comments saying, you know, put this up on Spotify. We did start an account. It's likely that it will happen in the future, but it's just not the right time yet. In the future,
it's
we'll
too
take
much in the
another
early
look at that,
stages.
another pass, but just not yet.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a workaround you need to do to get stuff up on Spotify. You need to go through different side projects and stuff to actually get it up on the platform. That's why we
lot
haven't
of
done
different
it.
hoops.
If it was like YouTube and you just upload it straight away, we would definitely do it. But you need to set up accounts on separate places, and I think you even need to pay to have stuff up on Spotify. So it's a bit of a bigger investment. But in the future, if the podcast takes off, maybe, yeah. Or an alternate platform that also allows streaming, maybe. Something like SoundCloud maybe would be an option.
Help it be successful. And then we
Yes.
can upload other places. There's your incentive, folks.
Oh yeah. Well, I do hope you all enjoyed this episode of me and One Topic talking about our history on YouTube and also various other things. So have a wonderful day, night time, or whatever times you live, and we will see you in the next video. Take care. Muah.
Oh, it's right in my ear every time. All right, I'm stopping the recording there.